Hello there and welcome to James Henner on YouTube. Today I've decided to make a video to give a little bit more information on the knights that we find in the minor arcana of the tarot and to look at the varying sorts of conditions in which they can come up. As we know, knights generally stand for movement and action, but of course they can come across in different ways, different sort of speeds of how quickly they can come about, how quickly things can come about and actions can be taken, and also the considerations of the actual suit and the elements involved. So I'm going to start off first of all with the Knight of Swords here, which I've selected first of all to talk about. Now the Knight of Swords, as we know, swords are to do with the mind, they are to do with how we think, they are our habitual thinking patterns, mentality, and they're also to do with anything to do with the written word, anything to do with written messages, and also they're to do with communication. So when we look at the card to see what sort of action we're taking, well, it's going to be within the mental realms. It's going to be how we communicate to others. It's going to be how quickly we process ideas and then how quickly we move on them. Now, with the Knight of Swords, as we can see here, the trees are blowing very quickly. There's a lot of wind going through, going through this knight as he comes forward. You can see it in the mane of the horse. This is in full flight. This is going to be very, very quickly occurring. So if this comes up in a reading, this knight comes up, the sort of action that you would be called to take would be to take quick action, swift action, to act on things, because things are likely to move very quickly. Either that you're to act very quickly, or that once you take the action, things can progress very quickly. But either way, it's going to move very quickly for you. It's not going to be slow and cumbersome. Things can be put together very quickly. Maybe that you get an idea very quickly and then you quickly put it into action, or you're able to quickly communicate ideas with the people around you or the organisations around you that concern what you're looking at. Of course, with all knights, there is a warning, and the warning with this card would be that make sure you've thought through what you're going to do properly before you commit to it. It might sound like a contradiction, but you can give yourself a little bit of thought. You can make sure that the consequences are taken into consideration before you act, because once you act, things are going to move quickly. So don't take rash action, and don't say things to people that you might not be able to sort of undo later if you're a bit rash or a bit harsh. Just plan things carefully and then go with it as quickly as possible. Leap into it and things are going to progress very well for you. But it's in the realm of mentality, really. It's in the realm of thinking, ideas that you get, and the written word and messages and so on. It's not necessarily physical action, but we'll get through those cards to make more sense of it. So the second card, the second knight I'm going to talk about here, is the Knight of Pentacles. Now this is the polar opposite. This knight is sat upon his horse. His main focus is his pentacle here. He has an unprepared field in the background, which is, well, it's been prepared, but it's nothing growing. So he's ready, planning and preparing what he's going to do next. So his actions are going to be a lot more cautious. He's not going to be rushing to into anything too quickly. He's going to be thinking through very carefully all his plans, looking at all sides of the situation and being quite cautious and prudent as he moves forward. There isn't much movement with this horse, so it may suggest that things in a reading would move a lot slower. They might even be at a slight standstill. But this isn't a bad thing, because his focus is on the practical, mundane, financial, career, all the physical sort of sides of life. So he's thinking what he wants to make tangible in his life and what he wants to create. So he's not rushing and with new ideas and jumping into things. He's looking at the bigger picture, but he's looking at all things physical and mundane, not being prepared to make mistakes. This could symbolize perhaps in a period in your life when you are looking at career changes, but you're looking at them properly. You're planning and preparing. Perhaps you're thinking of moving a home or making renovations to a home, and it's a lot involved in it. You would pause to think and consider the physical, mundane applications of what you're doing. So, as we know, Pentacles deal with that side of things. So he's the polar opposite. He may be seen as a little bit more of a boring card because people want to push on and get things done quickly. So you may find it boring, but the bad side with this card is maybe don't the negative side, the same as each knight has a negative side. I suppose the negative side could be not to sit on things for too long. You have to take some action, but a slowly and steady approach is probably best with what you're trying to do. If we move on to the next knight now, I'm going to give you the Knight of Cups. Of course, as we know, cups are emotions, feelings, intuition, dreams, hopes, things to do with matters of the heart. There can be psychic things as well. And of course, it's the sort of spiritual side of life. So this knight would be suggesting that the action that we do take is not as fast as the Knight of Swords, not as slow as the Knight of Pentacles. It's kind of like just gently progressing forward. But what he's doing, the key difference here is he's focused on the emotional side of what he's trying to do, because he's focused his gaze on this cup. Now, this doesn't just mean romantic love. This can mean the things in his life which emotionally mean a lot to him. So it could be that he has to follow his heart, should I say, within anything he does within his career or earnings, that he needs to follow his heart within his relationships, within his lifestyle, or within another area of his life. It just says that any action that you do take at this time is advised to be followed by how you feel about it. What's important to you? You have to be governed by how you feel. This could stand obviously for someone who has artistic pursuits or very creative pursuits. And, you know, the opportunities and offers that you're going to be coming into need to be considered. So anything that's offered to you at this time needs to be considered carefully to make sure that it fits in with what you feel that you want to do. It's all about the world of feelings and intuition, instincts, following one's heart within the quest that you're on. So any action you're taking has to be in correlation with your heart. It has to be in agreement with your heart. You have to be following your heart with the path that you're on. So, as I said, it could be within whatever areas of your life, parts of your life that need this, that need addressing, whether it is a career path, love life, relationship, marriage, health, lifestyle, whatever it is. Follow your heart, do what you feel is right for you, use your intuition to guide you. And it's a kind of a medium-paced movement. So, as I said before, it's not going to be fast-paced like the Knight of Swords. It's not going to be slow and ponderous and steady like the Knight of Pentacles. There's a little bit more movement here because we can see the horse is actually moving. So it's not as quick, but it's productive. And again, it's to do with matters of the heart and that direction. So the final card is the Knight of Wands. Now, we know that wands stand for enthusiasm. They stand for the spirit and drive that we have in our life. They stand for how we go about achieving the results we want to achieve, what the goals and plans we have, and how confident and enthusiastic we are to get things moving and to get things going in our life. It's the essence. In essence, it's the spirit of who we are. So this knight, the Knight of Wands, as you can see, this horse again is taking off. So it's saying that something again is going to move quite quickly. This is probably equally as fast or nearly as fast as the Knight of Swords. Probably not quite as, but this is more about things taking off. This is about you following your enthusiasm. So if it comes up in a reading, the kind of actions you'd be taking here is being ambitious with your plans and getting confident, feeling enthusiasm and itching to get things moving. There could be a restlessness about the action that you need to take, but it is an action card, as all knights are. And in the movement sense, things again can move quite quickly. Perhaps there's been a period of delays in your plans or ideas or goals, and now you're taking the bull by the horns and you're going to likely to have the enthusiasm and the interest and the drive and determination and motivation to start to move things forward a bit quicker. you're likely to be very happy about what you're doing and keen to get on with it. And you've got the energy as well to push things forward. So probably of the Knights, the Knight of Wands is probably marginally the most positive. But of course, we can take advice and guidance from all these cards to give us a better idea. So that's the Knight. That's a little bit more on the Knights for you. I don't generally tend to interpret them as people, because I just generally see them as situations because of the horse that's involved. But you can read them as people. I personally just don't choose to. I used to, but then I used to find myself getting very confused as to what it means, because the tarot's come on leaps and bounds from when it first sort of came about, you know, and going back to the sort of 50s and 60s when it became more popular. People generally tended to read it as a certain age person and a certain hair colouring and disposition. I don't really go along with that. I think it's too outdated. I think you can add astrological associations with it. So you could say wands, well, they're fire. So it could be something. You could see it as a Leo, a Sagittarian, or an Aries type energy if you want to. But I don't. Again, I don't, because I just want to keep the tarot simple, keep it separate. Astrology is astrology, to be honest with you. I don't think it really makes a lot of difference whether you use it or not. It's up to you. I know readers that get great results without using it, and I know readers that get great results using it. So it's up to you. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give us a thumbs up. Tell us what you think below. Drop a comment below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so if you're enjoying the videos. And don't forget, you can check me out also on Facebook under James Hennon Tarot, and on Instagram under the same name. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.